data that we're looking at right now, I mean, if I was to quantify it, you're basically looking at what you call Henry's high earners, not yet rich, basically like guys in their like 30s ish that are working in tech. And the thing is they see that mushrooms, it's very interesting.
All right, this is another episode of the Form Your Own Pack podcast from Founders Pack. My guest today is Jared Steele from Terrashroom. Jared, how are you doing today?
I'm doing excellent. How are you today, Michael?
I am very good, and I'm glad you joined us. So, for people that don't know, who is Jared Steele?
Yeah, so hello everyone. My name is Jared Steele, and I'm the founder and CEO of Terrashroom. Terrashroom is an automated, intelligent mushroom growing chamber. So anyone, anywhere can grow mushrooms at home. The reason I started this, I've kind of been an amateur mycologist or growing mushrooms for about 6 years now, and it's kind of hard to grow them. And so I figured, I'd scratch my own itch. I've been in tech for a bit, and decided I could automate a lot of the functions that are necessary, and caught on pretty quickly, and decided, yeah, this is something I can make a business out of.
So the people that are your customers, typically, who are they, and what is it they're getting from Terrashroom?
Yeah, great question. So I mean, really with like the data that we're looking at right now, I mean, if I was to quantify it, you're basically looking at what you call Henry's high earners, not yet rich, basically like guys in their like 30s ish that are working in tech. And the thing is they see that mushrooms, it's very interesting. You've seen a lot of these documentaries come out, like Fantastic Fungi or How to Change Your Mind by Michael Pollan, and they really want to dabble in that space. And so you've seen a lot of this big push with like the DIY home grow market, with plants and such. Like plants were the new pets post COVID. And so we're kind of seeing the same shift with mushrooms. So ultimately, we're just creating a really simple modular way to grow lab grade mushrooms at home.
And so the one part you mentioned is like a chamber. Like, how big is it, or are there different options?
Right. Yeah. So basically it's a glass dome grow chamber. I mean, I would probably just say check out the website, terrashroom.co. It's probably give you a better visual, but it's glass dome on top. There's a base where there's basically humidifiers, there's fans, there's heaters, there's all these components so you can see exactly the exact grow environment conditions. It's all controlled through a smartphone app. So that way in real time, you can see how it's doing. And there's also an embedded camera. So that way you can have like a live view or a time-lapse camera. Everyone loves mushroom grow time lapses, so you can basically see it remotely.
Oh, very interesting. And actually, the beauty of this is that we have video. Do you mind if we share my screen and we can take a look at it?
Yeah, sure.
Why not, right? Let's see. There we go. All right, so terrashroom.co, and this is what we're kind of describing, right? So you have this little pod, and then it sounds like that you've got an app that kind of lets you monitor everything.
Mhm. Yeah. So I mean, you just scroll down and you'll see some like app mock-ups, renderings, and such. So so we're slated for a launch in November 1st, and we'll have these shipped out to customers at the basically in Q1. And I mean, we're just we're recently featured on the demo day of the My First Million podcast, and
Right.
um, but yeah, I mean, I will say this: the what you see on the website, we are actually slated to do another photo shoot. So what's on the website was an earlier model. We've actually upgraded it, so now it's about 4 times larger for the grow volume size. And just to give you an idea, like just the other day, I harvested about a pound of mushrooms, and you basically can get about 2 pounds a month from
Oh,
this.
wow.
So it pays for itself very, very, very quickly.
That is super interesting. And then what stage are you guys at? It looks like you're at pre-launch, but for people that don't
Mhm.
know.
Yeah. So pre-launch, really right now what we're just doing is validating the engineering for firmware on the hardware side as well. We're in the process of closing a pre-seed round. right now we're looking at closing about a 500K pre-seed and using that money for more growth, hire a couple devs and such, and just classic, startup expansion. So
That's awesome. All right. Is this your first startup, by the way? I forgot to ask if there what was your background and what other startups have you done, or is this kind of your
yeah. So prior to this, I was working at a health tech startup that is a Y Combinator company. I was a sales director for them, and we did really well. We went from 0 to $12 million in ARR in about basically in the first year. So did really well there. Prior to that, I was working for the game engine Unity. So I was part of the industrial team and really cool stuff. We were basically using the game engine for real-time 3D simulations for like NASA, Air Force, MIT Lincoln Labs, Nike, BMW. So kind of got into microelectronics, CAD modeling, 3D printing, and such. And that's kind of the genesis of Terrashroom.
very good. All right. So if you could only offer other founders one piece of advice, what would that piece of advice be?
Man, oh geez. Just I think the first off, like, I mean, this might be like a two-part advice, but like first off, like listen to your gut. But I would say more importantly, like put your idea, put your product out there sooner than you think. The most valuable thing I could have ever done was I was not ready to, take some product photo. I mean, it was just everything was a mess, but I was like, I took product photos, I threw up some Facebook ads. And I mean, literally within my first 2 months, I was getting some of the most valuable feedback. And so, I think it's easy to be a perfectionist with startups, but it's just like, put your idea out, make sure people can tell you that your baby's ugly, because otherwise you're going to be delusional and it's going to be a really tough grind. So do the hard work up front.
I love it. Yeah, and we see a lot of that, right? We see a lot of this vulnerability, this build in public movement. And I
Yeah,
think that to your point, like you can take real feedback from people, and that's great advice.
exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And I was going to say, I think feedback from, family members doesn't count. So,
Now, there, you know what? It's
yeah,
funny. Like I mean, we kind of evangelize this, right? I think I mentioned it's like rapidly prototype and then go to
yeah,
real customers. Like, if
yeah,
your mom's not going to buy it, don't talk to her.
yeah, exactly. Well, if she says she's going to buy it, she's probably lying. So,
What? So, what role has either community or partnerships been in your success so far?
oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, I would say it's everything. Truly, this is one thing that I wish I would have been doing sooner. It's amazing how much, you know, there's always one connection. I mean, the best way to put it is most communities, most partnerships, 99% of the time, they're not going to pan out. But it's just like sales, right? It's like you have to send out 100, calls, emails, what have you. You're probably going to get one person to respond, so basically, and of that one person, you're going to have maybe like a 10% conversion rate. So the best way to just put it is like, when it comes to community, when it comes to that, just like talk to more people, like ask more people, connect with more people, because there's likely interest in what you're doing. It's just you have to find the right person, and there's a lot of sifting to get there.
Love it. That's great to hear. And that's great advice. All right. I want to be conscious of your time. So, what's the best way for people to get in touch with you, Jared?
Yeah, absolutely. So people can shoot me an email, jared@terrashroom.co. Um, I guess I'm on Twitter. You can find me Jared Steele as well, or LinkedIn. Those are really the two main social media platforms. But quite frankly, I love connecting with other people that are builders. So pretty much can guarantee I'll respond to any message I get. So yeah.
I love it. All right. I want to invite you. I think I spoke to you about this before, but as part of Founders Pack, we've launched Intros by Founders Pack, which is basically automated connections based on AI algorithm and matching you with other founders or investors. So I'm going to invite you to that. Hopefully, you'll be able to participate and meet some
Yeah,
members of Founders Pack. So that would be
absolutely.
great to see you on there. The
Yep.
final thing is when we have interesting people on the podcast, we like you to nominate other interesting people. So as you know,
Mm,
we typically talk to either founders or investors of scalable startups. So, who would
definitely.
you, Jared, like to nominate as a future guest that you can introduce us to?
Yeah, let's see. I know a lot of people. Let me think about this. Yeah, I know a lot of people in the D2C e-commerce space. Uh, man, um, let me let me think on that.
I
So
keep forgetting about Mike.
I'm blanking out. Yeah, I'm blanking out of like,
Is there one person that you know that you think would be a great guest?
I mean, I think, I can think of like two people that they have really, really interesting, startup stories. One is my friend Braxton. He has a company called BraxleyBands.com. It's a Apple Watch wristband that he literally bootstrapped from a college project, and
Oh,
now it's like, he's
amazing.
doing millions and millions in revenue a year. And it's incredible business. And I have another friend. His name's Ben Wilson. He's doing this thing called PodRamp that really interesting how he's like basically taking influencers, pairing them with basically he does really incredible content work. So he's able to essentially scale up influencers. Like like the monetization side of it is like really impressive. So those are probably two people I'd definitely recommend.
Right. What's really exciting is we actually last weekend just recorded with Ben. So his episode will probably just be out just before yours.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was great. I'm glad that's and it was, you're right. It's like I really enjoyed meeting him. That was my first time talking to him personally, and
Cool.
a great nomination. And then the
Yeah.
other one was it Braxton? Is that right?
Braxton Manley. Yeah. Yeah. So
Braxton.
his company, BraxleyBands.com, I think.
Awesome. All right. So Braxton, you've been nominated as a featured guest of the Form Your Own Pack podcast. Ben has already been on, so we can keep an eye out for
Well, there we go.
that.
Yeah.
All right, Jared, thank you so much. I look forward to following your journey.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Michael. Appreciate it.